Trekkies and Trekkers. Welcome to this amazing Star Trek podcast on Trek Tuesday. I'm your host Dorinda, and together with my lovely co-host Amanda Hopper, we recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek TNG. All the episodes will be recapped in the chronicle following. We will approach each episode with humor and a feminine look. Today we recap the episode Skin of Evil. Well guys, let's call Amanda again. Hello Amanda.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. As you know, you heard I had a job interview on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a job interview on Friday with one of my favorite mini secondhand stores in town, by a village. That was Friday.
Okay.
Here we are Tuesday. I don't think I got the job. Oh well. I tried. As my mom said, I tried. And
yeah, but
I applied for another job. Yeah, and I applied for another job the other day from ZipRecruiter, Empire Theaters in Dieppe.
Okay.
Which is also part-time. You're not considered an employer or employee. You're considered a cast member if you have the job. Hey, free movies too you get. Yeah. That's
hopefully one of those will suit you and you will get it.
Oh God, I hope so. I need another job to go with what I'm doing now. Papers don't pay much.
Nope. Well, let's start it with the episode. And of course, this time it was a Tasha Yar episode. I knew that this would come, so.
I know.
So
Thanks
we started with the episode that the Enterprise only have impulse drive. And in this episode, we actually see the lithium crystals and how it's work in engineering. That is still pretty dangerous.
It's like basically the lithium crystals is almost like a radioactive nuclear plant that if it blew, oh boy, everything's going with it.
Yeah, exactly. So that was in one way it was very nice to see because normally we don't see that. And normally you don't see what it really is. We always talk about it, but we never have seen it in real. So Tasha was on the bridge and Worf was on the bridge and they were talking to each other and Worf was asking Tasha if she was ready for the martial arts tournament. And that was really a nice and funny moment with them. And even that Worf was betting on Tasha to win the tournament.
Yeah.
His face, oh my gosh, I was really thinking, okay, Worf, you're a Klingon? Why the hell is that warrior spirit of yours?
Yeah, it looked like he had a bit of a grin starting to form when he was talking to her about it.
And even Tasha was smiling about that.
Yeah.
So, they were busy and then they got a emergency call of the shuttle that also transported Counselor Troi. Counselor Troi went somewhere, but I can't remember where. But she was coming back, but there was a lot of trouble. And eventually the shuttle crashed down this planet. And that was the planet where we're going to meet Armus, that black thingy.
The evil oil slick, I call him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like a big puddle of ooey gooey. It basically looks like oil that has been changed in a car for a few thousand years, is what he looks like to me.
Well, I think he was very dangerous and, you know, not only that, what he did to Tasha Yar and Riker, but also just in how he is. And it was very nice to see that Picard was smarter than him.
Outsmarted him, too.
Because they couldn't have contact with Counselor Troi or the shuttle, there was an away team that beamed down. And they kinda negotiate with Armus, but it was, how can I say that? I didn't like Armus at all. He was really
sadistic?
Yeah, but also bossy and
yes, like a teenager who couldn't get his way, basically sadistic.
In a way. But also like, I am the higher end of authority, so I can kill any one of you and just for my own amusement. What apparently later concur is that Armus was just lonely, and I think his own species has left him.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched Futurama. Did you ever see Futurama, the cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
They did an episode similar to that, but it was a gas cloud. It wasn't an oil slick. And it had Star Trek, the original series cast members. And they were going up against the Futurama characters. They were basically, this planet gas thing was living on the planet. Like, he was lonely and he wanted friends, and basically thought, I'm going to make the ships crash. And basically the same deal, but the only person he really killed was Yoshi, or whatever his name was, on the Star Trek side of the team in the cartoon.
I didn't have watched much Futurama, but I know what Futurama is, so... But...
Yeah, it was an episode that they kind of did like a Star Trek spoof, but it dealt with this gas cloud that's kind of like Artemis, whatever you call that slick. And he just wanted friends and stuff. He thought he was the ultimate fan of Star Trek, basically.
It also sounds a little bit as the Orville.
Yeah. Still haven't seen Orville. I gotta get around to watching them.
No, I don't either, but I found it on this website, so I'm going to definitely watch it. They say it's really fun, so but okay.
I've seen some clips.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some small clips of Orville. It looks pretty darn funny.
Yeah, but they say that Seth MacFarlane actually helps writing the script of Strange New World because you can see his comedy in it.
Oh.
By the way, talking about Strange New World, have you seen the latest episode?
No, I haven't seen the show yet because Dad's always watching the TV, so I can't really kick him off.
Okay.
If I had my own if I had my own satellite in my room, it'd be perfect, but I don't.
Do you remember Johnny Bravo? The cartoon with the...
Hey, pretty mama.
Yeah, well, they made Pike's hair like that.
Yeah, I saw some pictures online of his hair. People are making it look bigger and bigger with manipulation.
Yeah.
Hey, pretty mama. I kind of like that show at times.
It's really funny,
Bravo. Yeah. Johnny Bravo was always hitting on the ladies.
So let's back to the episode.
Artemis.
So the away team is there and they make a conversation with Armus. And Tasha was a little pushy with, okay, we don't matter, we need to go to our team in the shuttle and we need to see if they are okay. And that was the moment that Armus is attacking Tasha, and later on she is dead. And I think that was a lousy way to be to dead. And isn't this way also that she was written out of Star Trek? Tasha Yar? But
it's so weird.
I know, she comes for one episode back when the Enterprise C was there. wasn't that some kind of a mirror universe also?
Oh, there was an episode she comes back. It's a mirror universe.
Yeah.
And then she comes back again, but as a different character in the series.
Sela.
Sela?
Yeah, Sela.
The Romulan?
Oh, you have no idea. We have a whole story. Well, I think it's 2 or 3 storylines only on Star Trek Online, only with Sela. And it's a pity we can't murder her because she is so super annoying. Jeez. Really, if you hear her, you will say, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Sela. I wish I could scoop you up, put you on a rocket, and shoot you into the space."
Into a black hole.
But okay.
Bye-bye, Sela.
Picard got his away team back on the Enterprise again, and Armus was covering the shuttle. And then he started to talk with Troi. And Troi could feel him, and he was very curious about her, because he was saying after that, how can you feel what I'm doing to your people? How can you feel that somebody is dead? And
I think she sensed it through him, probably.
Yeah, probably too, but also she is that empath that can feel what happens around her. So that is it too, and I mean, this was a lousy way to go to write Tasha off the series. I really didn't like that.
I know, death by an oil slick? Come on, there's different ways you can do it. But seriously, wrote her off by killing her by a giant oil slick that can take the form of a humanoid, which is a really, really weird way to go.
But not only that, it's just like I said, I really thought there were more episodes with Tasha, and not just only one season.
Yeah, I thought she had, maybe, you think she'd have multiple seasons. Nope, one season, let's kill her off by an oil slick.
But okay, so Armus didn't want Troi to go because he was so alone, and he was essentially, he is some kind of a bully, like Q is, you know? And he just has something he also has those godlike powers, but he was super alone. So that is one way that he wanted to try to stay. When we were on the bridge, and that was a really, really weird scene because of Worf's reaction. Picard told Worf that he is now active chief of security. Did you saw his face?
He was I don't know if you call it shocked or surprised that he was promoted.
I think it was more shocked because he was just talking with Tasha still about the martial art tournament. And it was just, I think he was shocked as well.
Yeah, so he would go from a red shirt to a yellow shirt, I think.
Isn't that wouldn't that be in the next episode that he is going to be head of security?
I think so. I don't remember which episode it was, but I guess as soon as he's been named head of security, he's head of security, I guess. So he transfers from red shirt to yellow shirt.
So, I think Worf was totally in shock about it, and I can't remember. I think she did said something in an interview about it, why Tasha Yar was written out. I can't remember why. But okay.
Probably look it up on Google.
So, we are down to the planet, and Troi was still talking to Armus, and she was trying to convince him to let her and that other crewman go. But Armus didn't give in. And he was really saying, no, I'm the boss here, and you're staying. Did you see, by the way, that she had that really hideous hair thingy again in?
Oh, yes, I saw that shiny thing.
I had the impression that she went out on a diplomat mission, because every time she have a diplomat mission, she wears something like that. Also very...
Yeah, she's always wearing something like pretty flashy or tiara, like when she goes on diplomatic missions or important things.
So, Riker is back with the away team, and Armus is attacking Riker and pull him into that oily stuffy, and Data and the other two wanted to help him, but Armus warned them, if they would help him, Riker will die. And he is really tormenting all of them.
Yeah, he was basically really sadistic, like tormenting every single person that was on that planet, or like he was tormenting Deanna, and then he'd torment them, and he'd torment Riker by dragging him into that goopy mess. But I don't have a clue I wonder what they used for that, I wonder.
And Troi felt that Riker was in danger, and she calls out to him as Imzadi. And that was very interesting as well, because in the beginning of those few seasons, I think the first 2-3 seasons, there was no very love connection between them. And in one way it was nice to see that they had, and because when they meet for the first time again on the Enterprise, she was talking to him like telepathic. That was the first time we hear the word Imzadi.
Oh yeah, that was in season 1 we're on it, but it was episode 1, right?
I thought that was episode 1, yeah.
Yeah, because it was the first time I think they met up. Yeah, I think that was episode 1.
So, with all this happening, Picard beamed down to talk with Armus. And they were more or less negotiating. And I was thinking, why negotiating? It's you need to go get your people. It's stupid that Armus being a jerk like that.
Yeah, I don't know how he was able to even negotiate with that thing when it was being that big of a jerk and, like tormenting them. Like, what the hell? Rescue your people. Why would you negotiate with something like that?
Well, I think there was that issue, of course, with Tasha Yar. Tasha Yar went to do the same thing and she died. Armus showed that Riker was still alive, but he was manipulated Data to kill Picard because he let Data to pull his phaser and point it on Picard, and then to Dr. Crusher. And Armus was really playing with them, and he asked Dr. Crusher, well, Doctor, if you need to choose who will die. And at that point he let Data point the phaser on himself, and then Crusher said, well, I will choose for me because then my friends don't be heard. And Armus made some kind of a comment about, well, even that tin man of yours, he's just a machine. So, what the heck, you know? So, Data said, well, I will not be responsible for their deaths because you're the one who make me doing this.
Yeah, like, it wouldn't be Data doing the killing. It'd be Artemis manipulating Data, is how it'd be. So technically, it wouldn't be Data doing the killing. It'd be Artemis manipulating Data to do it.
Yeah. You know, there was one thing they should have could done with it also is and we do see that when Picard eventually talked with Armus a little bit, but Armus was so still angry, and he wanted to kill everyone, and because he also had been there for a long time alone, I wish we could have a little bit more background of him.
Like, they should have done like a flashback about him and why he became the way he was and why he ended up on that planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it would be interesting to see a flashback of his perspective and why he's so moody and grumpy and why he was left there.
Yeah, and you know, it's just more for us as somebody who watched it. It will be more clear, and I think this is the only one time we see in the whole series of Star Trek about the creature Armus. And when Discovery came out and they showed us the Bulaul, it reminds me of him.
Well, I missed quite a few episodes of Discovery because I just haven't seen them all yet, but I plan on buying them eventually on DVD. Eventually. So, yeah. I'm a little behind.
So, with a little bit of negotiating, Armus sent Riker back, and he was still alive, and that was exactly the moment Picard said, okay, Pinder, wake him up. And it was only Picard and Armus now. And Picard was finding a way to get to Deanna. And he said, well, I need to speak to her. I need to see if she is alright. So Armus was transporting him into the shuttle, and okay, everything was alright. But meanwhile, Worf and Wesley had a plan to beam the crewman and Troi out of the wreckage, because they saw if Armus had this peak of energy and emotions, then his energy would be too low, and that was the window that they could beam Troi over.
Yeah, like if they made him angry enough and his shield got super low, they would be able to get them out, no problem. There was a way though they had to do it, and that was Picard.
Do you notice that every time Beverly Crusher is in trouble on a mission, Wesley is always there to help find a solution to get his mom back? He's always there.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that. Every time there's something going on with his mom or whatever, he's always there.
And one way that I think that they did that with a purpose. because him and Beverly are the family and mom and child of, let me say, the bridge crew. So you see a little bit more of family life. So
well, that and the fact he lost his father those so many years ago when he was younger, he just doesn't want to lose his mom.
And he was sometimes very close with her. In a way, always. In one way, I hope that Beverly Crusher and Wesley will have a little reunion in Picard season 3. But that's me.
Oh my God. So, it was a surprise just to see Wesley in season 2 at the end as the traveler.
Oh my God, yeah. I flipped out. Yeah, me too.
Right.
Yeah, me the same. And I have also said that in some of the episodes. Yeah, it really was. He kept that very good as a secret. But I also saw in one of the interviews that the showrunner said they were fighting over who in what Star Trek series they let Wesley Crusher come back. I must say, Will Wheaton is doing a really good job with the Reading Room. And
I've seen a little bit of that. I haven't watched a lot of it. I've seen some of it.
Well, what I really love about that, you could see that he is acting now as how he himself is. And that's how he portrayed an older Wesley Crusher. And yeah, it was a really surprising thing when they got him in the end there. So
yeah, and what's her name? Oh, what was her name again? She played Soji in the first one.
Yeah, she has another name here. I can't remember what. And she was really against her creator, if I can say it like that.
Yeah, Adam. And she goes off with Wesley as a traveler.
Yeah. I hope in one way that somewhere in what kind of a series there will be some kind of more background stories about the Traveler, because the Traveler is a very mystical alien, and we never know what they really do. The only thing that we know is that they can travel in time and have a time. Yeah, they just work a lot of time, so I can't come on the world, so I'm saying it like that. Yeah, but in one way, I hope they will make some time and efforts that they tell a little bit more about the time traveling. As a time, yeah.
It's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have everyone from the season.
Well, so Picard was talking to Armus, and Armus said, well, I can give you so much more, but you need to take me with you because I want off this planet. I want to find the people or the aliens who left me behind. And I really got the feeling, okay, Armus, they left you behind with a reason. So, what is it? Did you did something like murder them or something else? There has to be a reason that they left you on a planet that is not habited.
They left them there for a reason.
Yeah, so that was a moment that he and Picard negotiate, and there was that moment and peak of energy window that Worf could save and beam up the shuttle crew, and then Picard was making him madder and madder, and then they beamed Picard out and left, Armus behind. What was his own fault? I don't have pity with him. So.
No. And they also destroyed the shuttlecraft before they left.
Yeah.
So that blob of ink couldn't figure out how to fix it. I don't know if
yeah,
it
and
fix it or not, but still.
Could get out of the planet. And, yeah, then we are coming to the end of this episode, and it was really a really sad ending because, of course, we see Tasha's funeral.
Yeah.
And I never, at that point when I first saw this, I was crying, but I didn't expect it that she would be dying. And because I always have thought, okay, she would have more like wrestling matches with Worf, and they would be good together, you know, that they are both chief of security, and they would cause mayhem together. But okay, I must say I really liked the end of this episode and how Tasha said goodbye to them.
Yeah, and did you notice with Data, as you know, Brent Spiner plays him, you can tell that Brent Spiner's emotions were coming through there.
Yeah.
Of how sad the episode was. You can just see it on him.
Yeah.
Like he's probably thinking, gotta hold together. I'm supposed to play an android here. You can see it right in his eyes, along with Worf.
Did you notice that when she talked to Data, or she looked at Data's direction, his eye through the lenses were tearing up?
I didn't really notice that, but I know I've seen the expression of sadness showing up on him, but I didn't notice the tear part.
Yeah.
Never noticed that.
He was tearing up. And I think also that it was because Tasha and him had always had those scenes with each other.
I think also Worf looks like Michael Dorn's character was going to have a little bit of a sad session there too, it looked like.
Yeah.
I think Data's character, he keeps the hologram of her, I think, for future episodes to bring out.
I'm looking a little bit on Google now. I googled why did Tasha Yar leave the show, and she said it was mostly due to the lack of character development given to Tasha Yar, and that was what they coped with the first two seasons, and because I knew that they had that same issue with Patrick Stewart.
Oh.
And because Patrick Stewart wasn't happy with how everything, his character developed, and there were more actors who had that. But so they talked to him and they said, well, in the third season or after the third season, there will be more background stories, and that would be stories like, of course, with Worf, with his whole honor thing with his dad. We see, of course, that Picard went more to his family and to Paris. And there are other more storylines that they have written. So, and then she came back as, of course, Sela. So that was very interesting.
And she also does the mirror universe here too.
Yeah. So, Amanda, would you like to add something? Do we have something that we forget where you still want to talk about?
I really can't think of much of anything to add to it, except I actually liked this episode. It was the funeral part. Yeah, was pretty sad. You can see that Deanna was, I think Deanna was crying when they were walking away. It looked like, because she was leaning against Riker when they were leaving. Other than that, the episode was pretty good.
Yeah, well, so guys, it was my turn to come up with a question. And so my question to you is, if you would work as like a military person or like somebody for Starfleet, and you know you could die any minute on a mission, would you have to pre-record a message for your friends and loved ones? That's my question for you guys.
I said that is a good question.
What would you do?
Would you? Yeah, what would I? Well, yeah, I'd probably like record a message or something like that, or write something down, or do a videotape, because I've heard of people doing that.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they do.
There are people who've done video wills, I think they call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have done those.
Yeah, it's a very interesting episode. So, how would you like to rate it?
Well, you go first this time.
I will rate it a 7.
Yeah.
Although it was a good storyline, I think they could have done more.
Yeah,
and probably get some kind of a second part of it out of it.
Well, yeah, they could have done more with it. I agree. So yeah, around a 7 will be my score too.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, thank you very again for this lovely conversation about this episode. And we will talk soon again.
Yeah, we will.
Well, guys, live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, guys.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening and join us in 2 weeks for a new episode recap. In the next episode, we will recap the episode We Always Have Paris. Girls Talking Track is also to listen, follow and subscribe on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. If you'd like to comment on the episode or talk with us about the episode we just recapped, you can reach out on our Facebook group and the YouTube channel of Girls Talking Track. I also like to tell you about my other podcast, Orinda Talks. In this podcast, I talk about books, movies, fandoms, and other geek things. On this podcast, I also have an extra episode series in which I will talk about everything Star Trek. You can find Orinda Talks on the YouTube channel or the Facebook group. We will see you in 2 weeks. Live long and prosper.